Today I want to talk about Jalon Walker and really the top 5 of the 2022 recruiting class and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on Step Mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, a top 50 prospect committed to Georgia. That is the second time it has happened in the last 3 days. Joining Malachi Starks is Jalon Walker at outside linebacker. That gives Georgia 10 commitments in the 2022 class, 7 of which rank inside the top friggin' 100. Good grief, man. I want to say 5 of those rank inside the top 50 in the 247 Sports composite. Georgia ranks number 2 in the 2022 recruiting rankings as of late. Ohio State still retains number 1 with 11 commits to Georgia's 10 and a narrow lead in the score. LSU coming in at number 3, and we all know that Alabama is going to be Alabama and Clemson is going to be Clemson. But more than that, I'm thinking about this. I'm going, Ohio State has won a national championship in the last 7 years. LSU won a national championship 2 years ago. Alabama is the reigning national champion, and Clemson, 2018. Anybody, right? When's it going to break through for Georgia? Because they've been recruiting like this for some time, right? It's not as if they don't have dudes. It's not as if they don't have players. And I get it. Many of you are tired of hearing about Georgia football and what it is supposed to be, especially in those years where we all think they have no reason but to be good. Like last year, we thought that they should have been good. And you know what? They were when they found their quarterback, when JT Daniels was the guy. Now they have their guy. Do they have the talented wide receiver? We like to think so, right? We tend to think so. Even with George Pickens being out, you still have guys that can 100% go out there and get it done for you. And a Kirby Smart defense coordinated by Dan Lanning with Glenn Schumann doing his thing and added Will Muschamp ought to give you everything you need to come out of the SEC East and take to the woodshed whoever comes out of the SEC West in a peak year for you. Like, I think this is an open year for Georgia, just as I think this is the open year for Oklahoma. That would be my national title championship game if I was forced to pick it, and I've been saying that for some time here. But in looking at Jalon Walker, I keep looking at dudes that are going to Georgia, and I keep going, what are y'all expecting here? Because it's not as if we're talking about Georgia football putting out first-rounders like Ohio State, like LSU, like Alabama. Not in the last few years, right? If anything, I'm looking at Georgia football players, and I'm beginning to wonder, are y'all actually reaching your potential once you go there? Now, I'm really interested in having this conversation and seeing what you have to say in the comments about this, because I'm sure somebody's going to be able to pull out somebody that went to Georgia that got drafted in the first round that they think is good. But I really got to go back to A.J. Green for the last time I saw a dude come out of Georgia and set the world on fire in the NFL. It's not to say you can't get there. It's not to say you can't be good. Like Azeez Ojulari ought to be a first-round pick. He might slide out of there because edge is just loaded this year. I mean, between Zaven Collins and depending on where you want to put Micah Parsons in the conversation with Boogie Basham and others, Quincy Roach, Jalen Phillips, you're not going to have a shortage of edge guys. This is not the year for which I would take more than perhaps 2 dudes at edge, and that's me including Micah Parsons there in the first round. But I look at Georgia and I say, look, man, y'all are supposed to be lording over the SEC East. You didn't last year. Florida did that, right, with Kyle Trask, Trayvon Grimes. We all know about Kyle Pitts and Kadarius Toney. And you kind of looking at the world's largest outdoor cocktail party to figure out who the SEC East champ is going to be, whereas in the SEC West, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Texas A&M now, but in some years, right, in the last 10, talk about Ole Miss or even Mississippi State and Arkansas if you want to take it back that far. But I keep looking at Georgia and I want them to be good because I keep looking at all this talent they keep getting. What's it going to take, man? I mean, you got monsters on the defensive line. You have an X-Men, a mutant at tight end in Darnell Washington. And I, for the life of me, have been going, what is it going to take for Kirby Smart to let these dudes go play football? Because Nick Saban decided he wanted to let those dudes go play football in 2014. You know, like, you can only play murder ball for so long because if somebody like Johnny Manziel shows up and cooks you, you have no way of getting into the frying pan yourself and getting into an old-fashioned shootout. Like, Ole Miss Alabama is a watershed moment for me because Alabama couldn't win that game 5 years ago. They couldn't do it. Not only did they win it, they put up stupid yardage to win it. Now, did Nick Saban enjoy winning a shootout? No, he's a defensive coach. He hates it. But he also has come to realize, I can't beat people this way because the game is not tilted for the defense to feast. It's tilted toward the offense to feed. Now, football purists are going, run the football, play defense. That used to be what football was about. That's what Alabama football was about. We're losing people that like the sport, man. Full stop. People want to see scores. They love watching quarterbacks play. The NFL figured this out and said, you're not going to hit the quarterback. You're just not going to do it. Targeting is in, right? Helmet-to-helmet contact is out. All of these things go toward, yes, we're looking at jump ball from Starship Troopers, right? Where you're going to run that play and you're going to see dudes doing full twist to catch footballs because that's more fun. And frankly, it's safer because as much as we call football a children's game, it is not. Like, it is as violent as all hell. Like, it is the thing just south of the UFC and boxing. So I refuse to have this conversation about whether or not they're playing a kid's game, but I also am looking at the kiddos going, you're mortgaging your future, you're betting your future on Georgia football. In the case of Jalon Walker, Malachi Starks, Gunnar Stockton, Deion Blue, all those dudes, right? And each year, I keep looking at Georgia going, is it going to be Peach Bowl or bust? Is it going to be beating Baylor in the Sugar Bowl? Are you going to get back to the national championship game? Because you got there once, and then you got beat by the team that converted to playing offensive football. Like, quite literally, went to go get the dude that could throw the football off the bench in the second half to go win it. Because ball control is not going to win anybody any championships anymore. It's not going to happen. You got to be able to put up 50. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.